With TravelMole TV with Ms. Geok Ling, who is the Managing Director of Penang Global Tourism. Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Oh, it's always good to be in Bangkok, isn't it?
Yes, but I'm actually looking very much for my visit to Penang, second visit.
Looking forward to welcoming you.
Well, I was looking at TripAdvisor of foods
Yeah.
and started looking at some of the pictures and started drooling.
Yeah. Well, it's a close contest. Imagine there was a big, quite a big row created even online when a group of people on a forum that started in this in the U.S. Another virtual tourist, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yes. Yes.
And they were just trying to name the top 10 cities
In the world?
with street food. Yeah, top 10 cities in the world for street food. And Bangkok and Singapore names both came up immediately because they are known among some American visitors especially. And fortunately for us, one American traveler who's been to Penang calls it his home in Malaysia, is Penang, sort of nominated us in that forum, and hence we ended up on the list. Now, maybe to a lot of the Americans who have heard the name Penang in the top 10 list, it's a bit of a surprise. The person who started the forum himself has never been to Southeast Asia. So for us to have still emerged as one of the top 10 cities as, for its street food, it's a huge accolade. But back home, it created a huge row, even in the newspapers. All the Penangites stood up to protest. So how can Penang come after Singapore as far as street food is concerned? So there was this big quarrel, sort of like a squabble, even there. And the funny thing is, the people who were discussing it on virtualtourist.com were laughing and said, guess what, you know, we got picked up, our story, our discussion got picked up, and it's creating a row, you know, between the governments even of these places in saying. But what they meant to do was just to name 10 cities great for its street food. They did not mean to put anyone in any special order, because there were no criteria spelled out whether you name the cities based on the quality of the street food or the authenticity of the street food. Because when you come closer to this part of the world, we become very distinctive. Singapore street food are all in very sanitized food courts, they call them. Our street food is really on the street. So, and we know for a fact that Singaporeans come to Penang for our street food. So it can't be the other way around. Hence, you know, the big squabble, as I said, everybody protested.
Well, speaking of people coming to Penang, it seems like Penang is sort of like the second home for many of the people who can afford a second home at a beach resort, where they can still have their good food.
Yeah. And the thing is, Penang, as corny as it sounds, we do have it all. We have the hills, we have the sea around us, we have fairly good connectivity to 11 international airports. So we can bring you into Penang and out quite easily, although not quite as international as Singapore or Bangkok. It has a very special quality of life. The pace is just nice. I mean, as a second home, obviously this is as a second home, not the kind of place where you're looking into putting your all in your career or work, but a place to live. So being one of the top 10 most livable cities in Asia, we have been voted that next to Kuala Lumpur as number 8 in Asia.
I find it hard to compare Penang with Kuala Lumpur, but that's my taste.
Thank you.
Speaking of second homes, a few years back, not too long ago, there was a program in Penang that to renovate the old city part, UNESCO World Heritage designated, and the program for Malaysia, your second home program, and there were many foreign people who did go there and purchased quite cheaply if they were to renovate. How did that program, how many foreigners have purchased and renovated properties around the old city now?
Number one, Penang people are very passionate and very proud and very possessive of Penang. The numbers have shown that the number of foreigners who actually purchased these properties were not high at all. They were actually mainly purchased by Malaysians, if not Penangites. Some of them are still Malaysians, but perhaps they have moved out to make their fortune elsewhere, but they have come home to purchase these properties.
And fix them up.
Fix them up, yeah, but the numbers have shown, the records have shown that they are not mostly foreign buyers. And now the state has put another limitation in terms of landed property for foreigners. You have to buy properties above 1 million ringgit.
I see.
Yeah, and as far as apartments, landed property, 2 million now. But for apartments, you're talking about 1 million.
Tell me a little bit about an area of Penang I'm not so familiar with. You have central downtown that includes or adjacent to the old city center. And then you have outside of it about
10 minutes.
10 minutes, this whole beach area that's highly developed.
Yeah.
Tell me about that area. I don't remember what it's called.
You're talking about Gurney Drive, could it be? Or
No.
Butterfringi? Butterfringi.
Butterfringi.
Okay, Butterfringi would be further up north. That would be at least 20-minute drive where it starts with Tanjung Bunga, to about half an hour outside of the inner city. The city itself of Georgetown, almost the entire Georgetown is gazetted as UNESCO World Heritage Site, with the inner core zone plus the buffer zone itself. That's, as I said, most of the city is gazetted as heritage already. And that's also where the financial district is, where the banks are located. Where the beaches are Tanjung Bunga Beach and then up to Butterfringi, I suppose just by virtue of the beauty of the beach, it has drawn developers to build and sell those homes there. Because most of any buyers, be them local or foreign, would want a sea view. So that's what's made that area so popular. But the area of Butterfringi has first been popularized and populated by hotels. Most of all our first 5-star hotels were all built up in Butterfringi.
There must be 4,000 or 5,000 rooms up there?
No,
not that many.
No, not that many. But quite a number of them.
Yes.
We have about a dozen hotels up there. Mostly 4 and 5 stars. We also have hotels in the city as well. But perhaps I don't have the number on in terms of number of hotels, but probably close to 3,000-4,000 in terms of rooms available. So that makes it also an area good for groups coming in, because especially incentive groups, where you need to have different hotels catering to different levels, different budgets
Right.
up in Butterfringi itself.
Speaking of MICE, meeting and conferences, I know that a new convention center is being planned to be completed in about 2-3 years. What is the current capacity right now, and what will that new convention center add to it?
Currently, the biggest place we have can cater to a banquet of 2,000 diners, and that, if you look at theatre seating, we can accommodate 3,500 people. But with the new one coming up, that we call that SPICE, that's the subterranean, it's on the ground, Subterranean Penang International Convention and Exhibition Bureau. That's going to be a much bigger place, because it will be purpose built. and it will have its own even pre-event space to hold cocktails, for example, or a smaller exhibition place, with a capacity of a floor space of about 45,000 square foot. Yeah, 45. So that ought to be able to take in a banquet of, obviously, if you multiply that, we ought to be able to take 4,000 diners, or at least 3,500.
And in terms of air service, are there any airlines looking at new airlines adding service to Penang, especially international?
Currently, Penang is already connected to 11 international destinations. We're being serviced by a dozen, 12 major airlines in the region. If you're talking about connectivity, certainly from North America in to Penang, you have the option of flying through Hong Kong, for example, on Cathay Pacific. It's just one stop in Hong Kong, and you have a daily flight between Hong Kong to Penang. And in fact, more than daily, they fly 10 times a week now to Penang. So there will be bound to you're bound to be able to catch a connection from Hong Kong into Penang, or via Bangkok into Penang, Singapore into Penang, and definitely through our own capital of the country itself, Kuala Lumpur, into Penang.
Pretty readily
Yes. Although,
accessible.
Although we don't have a direct from North America to Penang, but with a one stop, certainly just one stop into Penang. For example, through Singapore, you have that New York non-stop, let's say, to Singapore, and then from then on, we are connected. We have over 60 flights a week from Singapore to Penang.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I must say that it's definitely a beautiful city worth everybody to visit. Not as well as for the food.
Not just beautiful, but certainly unique.
Yes.
Well, UNESCO gave us this great big present. It's a huge honor to have been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but according to UNESCO, in Southeast Asia, there is just no other place parallel to Georgetown, where the past is still seen today.
Preserved, it's there.
Preserved.
Yeah, you're right.
Not just in terms of buildings, but in terms of its intangible heritage as well.
Yeah, I know Macau has its challenges with its, well, it's been 10 years, I think, 8 years that it's been World Heritage. You're right, I can't think of any others. Ms. Geok Ling, Managing Director, Penang Global Tourism, thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles.